Hey Noah, I just wanted to reply to your discussion post this week on ethical dilemmas. And um, you mentioned several that I also thought of whenever I was writing my post. The first one you talked about was that people helpers are limited in what they can do because of lack of funding or resources or insurance companies. And the place I work, we don't rely on insurance companies for funding, but we're a small nonprofit, so we do have limited resources as far as grants and private donors. And I personally feel like that exactly what you said, clients often can't get the full treatment that they need or deserve. And I see that happening in my own nonprofit, not my nonprofit, but I'm the director of it. So, I feel a certain obligation to the clients that we that we are trying to help, and I feel like oftentimes we can't help them. One, we're bound by certain bylaws and things in the operation manual that say that we can't do certain things, but also the funding isn't there to, say, hire somebody else that could do a little bit more case management that might benefit our clients. So you also talked about diversity, and I can't remember if I talked about diversity, but it was something that I did think about a lot whenever I was reading and researching for this discussion post. You made some really good points, really great points about how we already think that we're culturally aware, but we're really not most of the time, and even our even in most all of the professional organizations and their ethics codes, it talks about most all of them have something about being culturally aware, and that will make us better practitioners and better helpers. So your point that a lot of times employees already feel like they're socially aware, I see that happening too. Not necessarily in employees, but we do have that happening with volunteers, and it's a sticky situation, and I would like to implement some multicultural training in my office place, because I do feel like sometimes they kind of miss the mark whenever they are working with different clients. And the one thing is that you said it's unethical for employers to ask them to do such events. Now, I didn't read that, but maybe you, of course, you might have read something that I didn't come across where it's unethical for employers to require them to do such events. I know that I've worked I definitely know that one nonprofit I worked at, they required us to go to multicultural training, and it was really interesting. Just to say, as a Christian, we had to go to multicultural training for the Jewish faith, and so that was really interesting, but we were required to do that. So the last thing you talked about is that companies and employees often compromise their missions and morals, and sometimes people just do it even if it's something that they might not agree with because their employer asked them to. I agree that that happens too, and it's unfortunate. I even being in a upper level of the company, I've even been asked to do something that's that I said absolutely not doing that. It had to do with finances and fudging some numbers to be able to get funding under a certain resource, and I said no, negative, you can fire me, but I'm not doing that. But definitely I do see that happens, and it's hard whenever you need your job but you're put in a place where you're asked to kind of do something unethical that you maybe isn't illegal, but you just know it's not right. Anyway, just wanted to respond to your post and say thank you. Bye bye.